My cat Tigre passed. On December 17, 2019, my cat Tigre peacefully passed into spirit. She had been with me 17 years, since she was 6 weeks old. In this video, you will learn what happened when she crossed the Rainbow Bridge. For the past 3 years, she had been receiving IV infusions 3 times a week for kidney failure. My main caregiver, Renee, had been giving her these infusions these past 3 years. She also had liver failure. She was quite a fighter, but the past 2 months I knew she needed to be set free from this dimension. She was not acting her normal self, and I could tell she was in a great deal of pain as she cried frequently and was vomiting. She was lashing out at my caregivers any time they came near her, and that was not normal for her. In early November, I sent her to the doctor that had been treating her remotely for the kidney failure over the past 3 years. I had explained that I knew it was time for her to pass. He called me when she was in his office and said that he could find nothing wrong with her and refused to put her to sleep. I was infuriated because her last laboratory tests have proven that she was not doing well. She was brought back home and I was left trying to cope with what to do. This past weekend had been rough for her, and I knew I couldn't see her suffer anymore. We contacted another doctor who had seen her on a few occasions and had done her last analysis. He agreed to put her to sleep. Tuesday morning, Renee took her into the office after my goodbyes at home. Renee told the doctor all that was going on, and on examination, he found that she also had cancer down her throat and in her mouth. With Renee by her side and me on the cell phone, she was injected and peacefully passed into spirit. She had always been a very sweet little cat who loved everyone and anything. That was her nature. She was curious about people and anything that was different where we lived. When I first got Tigre, I had another cat, Isis, who immediately adopted her as her daughter. They were always together. During the many years the 3 of us were together, we lived in different countries, in many different apartments, always adapting to wherever we were. Isis distrusted people and would never be around anyone but me, whereas Tigre was always curious and wanted to see everyone and everything. They were quite opposite in personalities, but they certainly got along. In April 2015, Isis passed from kidney failure and cancer of the liver. The minute she passed, Tigre went hysterical. People think animals have no souls. Then how do you explain that Tigre knew Isis had passed? Their spiritual connection was very strong. I received a message a few months ago from Isis across the Rainbow Bridge telling me that time was running out for Tigre. I was well prepared. You want to check out my video, Message from Across the Rainbow Bridge. Tigre was always in trouble. If there was something she could find to do that was wrong, she did it. Isis, on the other hand, never caused me one bit of problems in the 15 years we were together. No matter what trouble Tigre got into, I still loved her. I always called her my little toy tiger. She was definitely a tiger in spirit and was fearless. I never once saw her back down from anything. We loved each other unconditionally no matter what. In 2014, Tigre knocked me over while playfully running in front of me, and I suffered many serious injuries that I never recovered from. It still did not stop me from loving her. She was just doing what was normal for her, to want to be wherever I was. Every pet parent feels that their baby is the greatest, and I'm no different. I have loved every pet I've ever had. Tigre was very special to me, because she is the last pet I will ever have. I am old with health problems, and it would be far too much on me to take on the responsibility of another animal. I sacrifice a lot for my pets. I always have and I always would. At this point in my life, it's just not possible. My spiritual side is very strong, but my physical is not. Now we come back to Tuesday morning, December 17. I was talking with Tigre on Renee's cell phone all the way through the injection, and he told me when she passed. As soon as he did, I got off the phone and went into spirit. Immediately I saw Tigre sitting at the Rainbow Bridge. She looked very young again, like she did when she was 6 weeks old. Then quickly coming across the bridge, there was Isis. She ran up to Tigre and started licking Tigre's body all over. There was not 1 inch she was not licking. I could tell that she was licking off all the residue of this life. I started to get impatient, wanting her to stop, but I had to wait and see what happened next. Once Isis stopped cleaning Tigre, Isis leading the way started across the bridge. I followed behind them. Tigre was looking at everything with great curiosity, just like she had looked when she was 6 weeks old. I have never crossed the bridge before, but this time I did. When we got to the bottom of the bridge, my father was standing there, and next to him was my little dog, Julia. He did not say anything to me other than look at me. He turned around and started walking into the mystical heavens along with Julia. Isis started following, and Tigre was following her. I saw them vanish into spirit. I turned around and walked back across the bridge and came back into my body. Once I returned, I couldn't stop crying. I was happy that Tigre was young and healthy again, but so sad to not have her here with me. I had to do this tribute to my precious little toy tiger, Tigre. Also, in telling this, I hope that it gives encouragement and faith to others who have lost their pets and worry that they'll never see them again. I have been an animal communicator for a long time, and I've always enjoyed it. If you want to know about a pet that has passed on, you can always contact me for my services. I'm sure it's going to feel quite lonely for me without that precious bundle of love called Tigre. I knew that this would happen at some point, and I'm glad that she passed before I did. I don't have to worry about her being taken care of without me. This evening I was talking to a friend on the phone, and I saw Tigre quickly on the bed next to me. So she's checking to see how I'm doing. Animals don't have as many barriers to crossing back and forth from one dimension to the next, and I'm sure I'll see her again. I've seen Isis many times since she passed, and maybe I will see them together. Thank you for listening to my tribute to my baby Tigre. I thank you. Many blessings. Cherokee Billie.